making decisions about money, making decisions about how you want to spend your time, what you want to do, make all of these big life decisions. Like, people are rarely prepared to actually make those decisions. Hey bestie, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Just wanted to check in with you and kind of talk a little bit about a few things. I recently turned 25, and so I wanted to share a few things that I have learned specifically from the years 18 to 25, because it's so funny. It's like once you hit 18, you're led to believe, at least in America, that you are an adult. And it's like, that could be the furthest thing from the truth, because at 18, how mature are people really? And how prepared are they in the years before? What schools are, the way that society is structured, how prepared are we really at 18 years old to take on and make all of the decisions that an adult should? And yet at 18, and even sometimes before that, we jump into these big life things like relationships and work, making decisions about money, making decisions about how you want to spend your time, what you want to do, either post school, after you graduate. Just, you have to make all of these big life decisions. I feel like people are rarely prepared to actually make those decisions. 7 years, really 9 years for me, because I graduated school at 16. And so I feel like I had those 2 extra years of no school and making decisions about my life that I just feel like I've learned a lot in the past 7 to 9 years. I want to share that with you to help you to kind of reframe and maybe look at things differently than you are, to help you make your decisions. So let's jump right in. So we're kind of going to talk about a few topics, and I'm going to categorize them in work/money, dating, relationships, love, all of that jazz. And then a third topic being mindset, and just overall mindset, either about yourself and also about life in general. So let's start talking about the first one, which is work and money. I definitely have learned so much in this area, because at the age of 16 is when I got my first retail job, and I loved it. You should see the picture of me on my first day. I'm just like the happiest person you have ever met. And I was just so excited to be able to start to make my own money. That type of hope and joy, especially when you're younger, is just so amazing. And if you can hold that, you will go so far in life. But unfortunately, I was a little too naive when it came to work. So I started with retail, loved it, knew it wasn't long-term, knew it was just like a step in the door. I saw people who were there for very long-term, and I'm like, that's not me. That's not what I want my career to be. Instead, I fell prey to the idea that corporate life was the way to go. So then when I got an office job, and it started just like 1 day a week, 8 hours in an office, I was like, wow, look at me, little miss manager. Thought I was all that and a bag of chips. And I was just so happy. Also with that job, there's this picture of me sitting at the desk. It's just so happy, because here I am having my own desk, working. And it's funny because it's like the way that society prepares you, the way that they teach you about money, and especially the people you are around, or the way that you grow up. So I grew up with not a lot of money. I grew up, and the people that I grew up around, definitely poor mindset. I carried that. I thought I had to work so hard in order to earn decent money. And I took that with me in both of these jobs. And so they needed me more. They needed me now to be full-time. So I transitioned my retail job, still kept it. Isn't that crazy? I kept my retail job, worked only a few hours on the weekend. 6 a.m. was my start time on Sunday morning, because that's the type of mindset I had. Like I was kind of mentioning, feeling like I had to work so hard in order to get basic money. So I kept my retail job, very short hours. I then became full-time in an office, and that doesn't account, for drive time. It's like drive time is also time that's unpaid that people take. I felt like I was on top of the world. But literally, I stayed at that job for 3 years. And, there's this talk of having short employment makes you look bad. So I felt I had to stay. That was the most toxic work environment I have ever been in, and will ever be in again, because I will not allow myself to ever be in that sort of work environment. But again, it helped me learn so much. It helped me learn that I should have left sooner. It helped me learn that that's not the career I wanted. I knew I didn't want to be in retail forever, but then I realized I don't want this either. So I transitioned, I played around with different other types of jobs, low paying jobs that like, while they were good for experience and I was good at it because like I love people, I love to talk with people. I love like, it worked for what I enjoyed. It was not the best use of my time. And that's the thing. It's like, again, I could take those same skills and apply it somewhere else and earn way more money. And I just didn't because of my mindset, the way I had limited myself. And so that is one thing I will share with you is just one, kind of look at the mindset you have around work. Do you feel like you have to work a lot? We all see how people will work little and earn the most money, and that's okay. If, you know, whatever you want to do and whatever you like, do it. That's all I'm trying to say is like really hone in, really get to know yourself and think, what is it that I actually want? We don't realize being young is that we can literally shape our future. And it's kind of told to us by guidance counselors, but when you really stop and think about it, you literally are every day shaping your future with all of the choices that you make. And it's not to kind of put this fear in making decisions and give you like analysis paralysis. It's really just to help you to realize that you have more control in your life than you may realize. So you don't have to go down a path just because you were told to. You don't have to do anything, actually. You literally can choose to do whatever you want to do. And you can earn loads of money if that's what you want by doing what you want. So that was another thing. When I was younger, even before I graduated, when I was just thinking about career, I literally, what I wanted to do was become a makeup artist. I wanted to be an MUA. I remember the thought that I would always express to my family and friends was, you can't earn a living being a makeup artist. Like, what? How many makeup artists are there for celebrities that are earning ton loads of money? How many makeup artists are there that are earning a decent living and enjoying it? So again, it's like really what it is that you believe is what will be. That's just the way it is. If I believed I couldn't make money being a makeup artist, I probably wouldn't have made money being a makeup artist. But I also didn't allow myself to try because I was so afraid, because I was so not wanting to live out my childhood of not having enough money for the rest of my life. And yet I put myself in places that didn't actually get me a lot of money, and I wasn't happy. It wasn't something I loved to do. So really just stopping now, no matter what age you are, stop now and look at your life. Get a piece of paper, write down in one column the way you are now, the way life is now. Are you happy? What are you doing in your life? Then in the other column, write down what will make you happy, what will help you to be happy. Sometimes it's like external things like our job and more money, all of that. And sometimes it's literally just a mindset shift. Sometimes it's just looking at things differently, and that is what is going to help you. You'll only find out through the process of journaling, doing that sort of an inner work around your relationship with money, work, and yourself. So that's topic one, all about money. Now let's talk about some people's favorite, which is dating, relationships, and love. So this one is also a crazy story. As much as I was in a toxic work environment, I was also in a very toxic long-term relationship. And it was kind of on and off again throughout some of the years. So there was also other relationships I was in between, but overall, back and forth, this up and down with this toxic person. And of course, I met this person through my work at the toxic place. So you can do the math and figure out how it was just all toxic. It all came down to one thing. I did not love and value myself for various reasons. We could blame it on all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, I became an adult. And I no longer could blame childhood, no longer could blame parents, because now I am an adult. I can make my own choices. I can choose how I think and feel. I can choose where I place myself. I can no longer blame anyone but myself. Even as an adult, for a few years, I did not love myself and I did not value myself. And that is the saddest thing that I will carry, but it's also in a way, a blessing, because I was able to view this end of the spectrum. I can really understand and empathize with people who also do not love themselves, who also are making very similar decisions in very similar environments, similar relationships. I can empathize and I can understand, because at the core, it's not loving yourself. And when you don't love yourself, you cannot be loved by someone else. Because if you can't even embrace your own love, you can't even show yourself love, how in the world is someone else going to show you love? How are you going to attract in life people who are loving if you reject love from yourself? It's like, hear me out. Because there's times in life that you are shown glimpses of love. And it's like, how do you react to that? Example is like, someone compliments you. How do you take that? Do you embrace it and acknowledge it and accept it? Yeah, thank you. You're right. I am beautiful. Thank you. I wear this very well. Or do you start to make excuses and reject that sort of compliment? Side note, disclaimer, I don't think anyone should be dating in relationships until you're fully healed and happy and safe within yourself internally. Also, when you have the prospect of getting married and really thinking about what a serious relationship is, if you want to start a family, when you're ready to start a family, after you are stable by yourself, that's when I think people should be getting into relationships. But of course, nowadays people are getting into relationships when they are young. I was dating when I was in middle school. Again, wrong focus. I do not recommend those type of things. I recommend focusing on yourself, getting, better, really understanding life and yourself before. But anyway, in some of these relationships in middle school, I remember there was guys who were interested in me who were good, healthy guys. I know they were healthy guys because they respected boundaries. They had boundaries, even though we were all young. And then there was those other guys, still young. Their mind already went to crossing your boundaries. And it's like, what? It's crazy how we can be so young and still have values, and we can reflect those values. And the type of people that you will be with or around are going to be, again, how much you value yourself. So if you don't value yourself and your boundaries, the type of person you're going to choose when you come down to a fork in a road, you're going to choose the person that also does not respect your boundaries versus this healthy, relatively healthy guy who would definitely respect you. And that's why, again, it's very important to work on yourself and be healthy and whole before jumping into a relationship. That way you can make the right choice. But that's not the story that I had, and that's not the story that I followed. And so that's why a lot of my relationships reflected that. And I know with a lot of you girls, you also may have experienced horrible relationships, not being treated properly, not being put first, constantly chasing guys. And that is not relationships that we deserve. I know that's not the type of relationship that you deserve. It's not the type that I deserve. And now at this point of my life, I have come to terms with that. I've come to terms with where I was allowing and inviting the wrong type of people, and also what I can do to not have that anymore. Literally, I was attracted to the wrong type of guy, the bad boy guy. Now I look at that same guy and I'm so disgusted. I am so turned off. I literally want to throw up. I try to hit on me, but they don't, because that's no longer the type of person I am. But they could, if they wanted to, they could try to hit on me. Totally flat out no, walk away, Now I'm totally attracted to the good guy, the good boy guy. And it's because I worked on myself. I worked on my values, the way that I saw myself and relationships. I realized my worth. I want to tell you girls, start to really look at yourself, see your value, and value yourself. If you don't value yourself, that's what you need to be spending your time on right now. Finding ways to value yourself. Every morning, look in the mirror. Give yourself positive affirmations. Show yourself love. Start doing acts of love for yourself. Buy yourself flowers. Buy yourself a new perfume. Take baths. Go for walks. Do what you need to do to start to love and value yourself. That way, when some guy comes in the picture and he starts wanting to give you low value, half-ass work, you realize you are so worth so much more than that. you do not accept that anymore. When you start to give yourself that type of love, that level of love, your standards for love are going to be so much higher. You're not going to accept guys who don't text you back. You're not going to accept guys who expect you to chase him versus him doing the chasing. You are not going to accept guys who will disrespect you and your boundaries. That's because you value yourself now. That's what you now can do. Regardless of your age, start to look at and value yourself. Give yourself the worth that you deserve. There's so much more that I could talk about both of these topics, but that probably will need to be a separate video. For now, I think the biggest thing that I wanted to share with you is just start to really look at the way that you view things, whether it's money, whether it's work, whether it's love, yourself, relationships, life. Start to really look at what your relationship is with it. Think about, is this what I actually want? Is this making me happy? And if it's not, switch it. Think about what will make you happy and start to do that and focus on that. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.